You're listening to the Heart and Soul podcast with Kathryn Banco. I'm on a mission to celebrate breakthrough, empowerment, and shameless living in the lives of women everywhere. Join me and let's live unashamed together. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Heart and Soul. Sara Leonard is back. It's been a minute since you've been on the podcast.
It really has. I'm back. I'm back, baby. Better than ever.
Feeling good, looking good.
Thank you.
Living.
I got a
loving,
blowout
loving.
today.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Is there a special occasion or you just wanted to?
Well, I guess today is like the official Galentine's Day. It's like the day before Valentine's Day. And I typically don't have Thursdays off. And Kyle and I are going to go to dinner tomorrow night. And I was like, what can I do that like I don't really, I mean, I never get blowouts. I obviously just usually wash my own hair. But I went and got a blowout and they had like Prosecco and they just washed my hair for me and I feel like I look a lot like my grandmother, which I love. I love my grandmother. So yeah, it was great.
I've never gotten a blowout, but it sounds relaxing, especially.
Yeah, it was nice. They like massaged my scalp.
Nice. Well, happy Valentine's Day. This is coming out a couple days after Valentine's Day, almost a week, 6. So for those who celebrate, I hope you had a wonderful Valentine's Day, and that's all.
And we're moving on from that.
And next, how you doing?
I'm doing great, honestly. I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where not a lot is new, but a lot is new. As you know, and now like my people and like the world knows, I put in my notice at work. So
How you
that
feeling?
was I'm feeling really proud of myself. And for anyone who's listening who like knows me in real life or not real life, I love my job. I love what I do. I love the people I work with. And that's what made it a hard decision. And because of how much I love my job, and what it is, but I feel like as I'm getting older, I spend a lot more time in thought and discernment and prayer over what I'm being called to. And I just know that there is something else on its way. And that is scary but exciting.
Yeah. And you're TikTok famous now, so.
I mean, am I? It's
you are to me. I have like 500 followers or something.
It's been so much fun.
Tell the listeners a little bit about your journey.
My journey. So what really took off was I read a memoir by a Food Network star, Ina Garten, if y'all have not heard of her. She's like Martha Stewart adjacent. They came up at the same time. Very similar, beachy Hamptons vibes. And I read her memoir and I felt like I was reading the story of my life. And, who's to say like what's to come in my life, but I think especially up until I'm about to turn 30 this year. And 2 months after she turned 30 is when she made this big life decision to purchase this store in the Hamptons that ended up changing the trajectory of her life. And everyone knows I love my birthday. Like everybody knows this.
Guys, nobody loves their birthday like Sara loves her birthday. I mean, it is a sight to see.
But it's so fun for me because it's like when I'm planning it in my head, it's not to celebrate me. It's like
I know.
And I know you know this but like in my mind, it's not like, oh, I can't wait for it to like be about me all day. It's the joy of like bringing, I mean, really, it's like the women in my life together and being able to like now at this stage like get like do dinner for them or like bring them together and really thank you guys for just like being in my life. That's what is like the most fun part for me.
Yeah, you did treat it. You treat your friends on your birthday, which is something cool to see. But go into the TikTok of it all with your birthday.
Okay, yes. So I read the memoir and I was so inspired and felt really connected to Ina's story. And I just started posting every day that since December 1st, so 6 months out from my 30th, of like what is making just my life fabulous every day, even if it's something really small. So like last night, no, Tuesday night, like all I really had time to do was like get butter out of the fridge to start prepping. Like I have to make the cookies today, but Tuesday, that was like all I had time to do was like start to think about making cookies. And it's just morphed into this journey where I'm cooking through her recipes and relating the lessons she pulled from her life to mine and built this fun, like encouraging community of amazing people who also love her, who are encouraging me and like cheering me on to my 30th. And um, yeah, I just feel like I have shifted my perspective to like noticing the little things in every day.
Do you, this is just like friend to friend, do you ever feel like, do you feel more comfortable in front of the camera now? Because I feel so awkward on TikTok.
Yes, I feel much more comfortable. I will say I do have, I think this last week particularly, I was like, I can't post a video. I look like a troll. Like I can't do it. Like I I feel so like I just didn't feel good about myself. But instead of, this is what's I think been very cool for me is like I mean, I would say as recent as like 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't have posted anything. But instead I just shared it and was like, hey, like I really want to show you guys these shoes I got. But like I don't feel good. And like I but like who cares? Like
Yeah.
nobody cares but me. Um and then people were commenting like, "Oh, like girl, been there. Like don't we all have those days?" And like that's what's been really cool about it is when I do push the envelope on being more vulnerable, people are like, "Oh my God, like thank God we're not all perfect, you know?"
Yeah. I mean, that is the most refreshing part of social media is when people actually are posting their real life relatable things.
Hmm.
And you're like, oh, okay, good. They're not perfect. Because you put everyone
Exactly.
up on a pedestal and you're like, there's no way this person feels what I'm feeling. But then you're like, oh, wait, everyone has PMS. Everyone feels like trolls sometimes. Everyone,
Exactly.
yeah, everyone.
Yeah, so um I've just really been having a great time.
Um, Random question, but Sarah starts all of her videos off with, welcome back to Sarah and Ina. Do you have that pre recorded?
No, I say it every time.
When I tell you, it sounds like the same exact
Oh my
tone,
gosh.
pitch, inflection on certain syllables every single time. I have been like, she definitely has that pre-recorded. Like that's what I've been thinking in my head. I'm like,
No.
there's no way.
That's so funny. And because it does sound the same every time, like I say it the same way.
Hmm.
But I did promise myself at the beginning, and I said this to Kyle, my husband, to hold it account. I just said to Kathryn before we started recording, y'all, that I forget we're doing a podcast sometimes and we're not just like talking.
Yeah.
So background character, my husband, Kyle. Um, I to hold me accountable, I was like, I want to be real and I want to be myself and I'm not just staying at home in my beautiful home by the seaside having all this time to cook and like I don't have that's not my life and so I don't have anything pre-recorded usually
Good.
ever.
That makes it more real. Like earlier when you were just saying like I didn't even have time to bake cookies, so I just thought about baking cookies. I remain there.
Well, you have a lot going on too.
Well, I don't cook or bake. That's the main point of this. It's not even the my schedule of it all. It's just that like it's so intimidating for me to get into a kitchen because I've never successfully cooked anything. And then I married someone who loves to cook. So
I know. That's how I've, been like blessed, honestly, until like it's Kyle loves to cook, so I've never really been like, oh, like let me try. So when I started this, I'd like go-to things that I like to cook and bake, but I mean, this isn't like something I've been doing.
but now, like 10 years from now, for your countdown to 40, you'll be like whipping up dinner parties
I
and living
know.
on this with a porch on the ocean and flying your private jets with Kyle to,
Picking up you and Michael, they go
trips
to the
on the
Bahamas.
trips on the Cape.
Let's do it.
I'll be on my way to 50, but it's fine.
In my mind, we're the same age.
It really is mind-blowing to me that I am that much older than you because you are beyond your years more mature. Not that I'm mature, but you're like more mature than someone in their 20s. And
I do get that a lot.
like anytime I see Countdown to 30, it has nothing to do with your looks at all because you look 29.
Thank
But
you.
I'm like, how is she not 30 yet?
I know. I feel like I do get that a lot. Like people will think I'm like 24, which is like so flattering. And then, but then other times I say my age and they're like, I mean this in the best way, but like I thought you were like 35. So I like, I'm like somewhere in the middle.
You're so mature.
So I've lived a lot. We have lived a lot of life.
We have lived a lot of life, a lot of life. And you started your like adult using hair quotes here, do not bark. You started your adult life earlier. I mean, you
Hmm.
got married young and then you like went and did the whole thing, you
I
know?
know. I feel like for our like the where we are in generations or just like time for our generations, like I did get married fairly young. I was
Mm.
23 when we got engaged and um thankfully I have the sweetest husband who just has like let me grow up too a little bit in my 20s and like explore exactly what I want to do, which is a lot like Ina and her partner. So when I was reading her story, that was also really sweet to be like, oh my gosh.
Is Kyle ever going to make a cameo in your new TikTok fame?
I think so. I think he would like to because
I
he
know he
does
was
really
in
like,
that. I know he was in like the one where you posted your anniversary photo.
yes.
Didn't you do that? Okay.
Yep.
I'm like, did she just text me that or did I see that on TikTok? I
No,
can't
he was in the
remember.
pictures.
um, I'm excited for you. I think you're a great TikToker, and I've really loved watching you grow and evolve in this space. And
Well,
maybe one day you can teach me how to do it because I still am so awkward.
no, you're doing great. I think when when you have posted, like you said, what makes it when people are authentic and like real about their life, which you are, and like that has always been your mission, like that's what makes it not just fun for people, but like fun for you too. Is anytime I'm stressed, I'm like, I'm not gonna make something up. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah,
pretend like because who wants to see that?
yeah. And I don't have the time. Like
No.
honestly, I don't have the like thought time to think of a lie to make up. Like I'm like I can barely remember what happened 5 minutes ago. I am not going to make something up. I don't have that kind of
Like we don't
creative.
even know what's reality.
No, I have no creative bone in me right now. I am in survival mode as of the last couple years. So I don't have time to think about a creative thought. No, I barely have time to market my own business. Ugh. Okay, speaking of, this year and the evolution of it, how has 2025 been for you so far? We're like 6 weeks in, or like
It's
seven, because January was like a year.
oh my gosh. January was like 90 days long.
Listen, I know that my birthday's in January, and it's I think the worst month to have a birthday. Like, I'm just being completely
I've
honest.
heard that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like everyone just finished the holidays. They're ready to hunker down. It's cold. It's usually like gross out, like it is right now and all week, and nobody wants to do anything. They're like over parties. But on top of that, everyone's like, January sucks. It's so long, and it's like kind of weird to think that like January is literally just 31 days, which is the same as December.
Hmm.
But nobody talks about December like that because we happy. It's Christmas.
I know. The
It's
lights are up.
fun. The lights are up. And then Christmas is over and everyone becomes the Grinch.
I know. Well, I mean, I for one had a blast on your birthday, so I hope you did too.
Oh, I loved
Catherine's birthday was so fun.
I did have a great birthday. It was nice. But talk to me about your year so far.
Um, these 6 weeks have been really good. They've also, I mean, been challenging deciding to leave my current role, my current job, because um I don't like to let people down.
Yes.
I really struggle with change. And I I don't know. I've made like other decisions before that were more impulsive and had to learn a lot of lessons from those decisions. So I recently saw someone on TikTok who said, like, kind of whatever it is that you believe in, it may show up in like different forms until you not learn your lesson, but until you are mature enough or like you've been prepared to truly listen to what it is that you need to learn or listen to or see. And I feel like that this moment for me because I have spent so much time thinking and praying and
Yeah.
like discerning what to do, and what I feel like I'm being called to do. And so, yeah, looking back on the last 6 weeks, like it was really, really difficult, but also feels very, like refreshing and rewarding, and I'm excited. Um,
Whenever you have like a big decision to make and you're a people pleaser, overthinker, like I am, you are,
mhm,
and we just want to be loved. Who doesn't? And so, whenever you have a big decision to make, it's the anxiety leading up to it that is the worst. And then it's just like any decision. Like if you break, let's say you break up with someone, and you're like, I'm gonna break up with them. I'm gonna break up with them. I'm so nervous. I want to have this conversation. Then you have the conversation, and you're like, like
yeah,
it's over. It's always the buildup that's the hard part. And then after the execution, you're like, why didn't I do that sooner? You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
I definitely felt that. I was like, I was so overwhelmed with like the emotions and the people I had to talk to. Um, but I was talking to my mom. My mom is amazing woman and like amazing person of faith, and she was like, remember how this opportunity in this situation like revealed itself to you. Like
Yeah.
something else is there. Um, and I think what is the scarier part is I'm not 100% sure like exactly what the full future looks like, but like who does, you know?
Yeah. And maybe God's trying to teach you, like, or show you that, like, maybe don't, maybe I don't want you to know what's next. And
Hmm.
maybe you, having some sort of like plan is what I'm trying to steer you
Hmm.
away from. Like, what if you were just, what if you just could be in this present moment? Like, what if you just
Yeah,
continued to coach where you're coaching and make TikToks? And like, that would be enough. Do you know what I
I
mean?
know.
Like, I mean, thankfully, y'all are blessed, like, to where you're able to do that
Hmm.
financially, but also like I think that I'm speaking to myself. You and I are wired very similar. We're strivers. And it's like, okay, well,
Yep.
if I finish this mission or this task, then like I have to strive to accomplish something
Mm-hmm.
immediately. When it's like, what if you just didn't? You know,
I
like
know.
I don't know. That sounds so like not, I don't know, profound, but like, what if you just did what you're doing?
Well, I totally like hear that and relate to that. And I don't know if you remember this, but this, I mean, you shared this in class like, I mean, maybe over a year ago, where um you reminded us that the only place it says to strive in the Bible is to strive for rest.
Yeah.
Like there's literally nowhere else where we're asked to like do to strive for perfection, to strive for even happiness, to
Mhm.
strive for fulfillment. It's literally the only thing you should work to do is like rest in what you are doing or like rest in the moment. And that is so powerful to me. And I think a lot of what I've been feeling, particularly the last few months and the start of the year, is like, if I keep rushing, I will miss my life. I
Yeah.
will miss the what's happening like in class in front of me. I will miss the person who showed up and like just needed to be with other people for the
Yeah.
morning. I will miss, you know, I don't know, like today in the grocery store, there was an older, like little woman who couldn't reach the popcorn, like that she needed to get. And I was like, what if I'd been staring at my phone and just like
Right.
walked by her and just didn't even look up? And it's just those little moments that I feel like um I'm noticing more, and I'm like, maybe that is what those
Yeah.
little things are going to come together in some way that I can't see yet.
Yeah. Like almost get you out of your head and get you out of your own way and just,
Hmm.
be in the moment,
Yeah,
be
I
present.
totally agree.
Do you have a word for this year?
So we did this a little bit with my team at work at the beginning, and I got really emotional about it and I think it was because I was feeling the shift and I didn't really know what it was yet. But I think the word I ended up coming to was authentic. Um, because I think that's really what a lot of the work I've done. And for those of you, if you're listening for the first time or you don't know, Kathryn and I started very similar journeys to heal from our eating disorders at this like the same time, just at different places in our life.
Hmm.
So it's been about a decade. Um, and a decade ago, like I started just working on myself, like just going to therapy and treatment and all the things. And I feel like now I can finally just like be who I was created to be without feeling like I need to hide
Right.
or prove myself in any way. And I'm not saying that's easy. Like I'm not saying that like I said, like there are days where I'm like I can't share my life because it doesn't feel perfect enough. Like it doesn't feel magical enough. But it's my life and that like it was created to be mine and that's what makes it great. And so, yeah, authentic was the word that I felt was like on my heart.
It's also fitting because, I mean, just what we were talking about with, even the TikTok of it all,
I know.
and you're shifting out of that role and into maybe you will be a famous TikToker, like millions of followers, and to like go in it with that foundation of like, I just want to be authentic is a great way to start.
Well, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen?
If
That's
you
like
are,
so
tag me, just like give me like two more followers, I would like to get to 515.
we can do it. We can
Okay,
absolutely do
thank you.
it.
Thank you so much. I think that's a great word, authentic.
What word came up for you this year?
My word's embrace,
I love
and I'm,
How's that going?
you know, fast. I'm like, some days I'm like, okay, I got this, and then other days I'm like, literally never heard of the word, don't don't
Hmm.
understand the definition, blah blah. I've really been struggling since having Coco with I mean, just to be completely frank, like my whole body composition has changed.
Yeah.
And after William, it really didn't. Like
Hmm.
it just kind of went right back to normal. I know it's so annoying for those who are listening and just like, maybe their bodies didn't. But just here to tell you,
I mean,
it
being
did. It
real.
hasn't this time. And a part of the word embrace was to like embrace my new season of life, being a mom of two, and I'm not in my hustle season. Like I just can't, I don't have it in me. I don't want to hustle. I
Yeah.
just want to like embrace my children and the little time that I have with them, although it feels like forever in a day when I'm like
Yeah.
constantly with them. But also, I did choose it like a lot because I, for the first time in years, have had the thoughts of like, maybe I should download a fitness tracking app. Maybe I
Hmm.
should download a calorie counting app. For the first time in years, it's like I've been questioning my morals, like all that I stand
Yeah.
for when it comes to body image, which I think is like totally normal.
Hmm.
But I thought I had like overcome that. And I do think I have because I haven't downloaded a fitness app and I haven't, like, I've had the thoughts, but I haven't actually done it because I like old me is, and by fitness app, I mean like calorie counting app,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Fitness Pal or whatever.
Yep. We've all
Because
been there.
I was like, no, please download my fitness app and like do my workouts.
Yeah. Please download Soul.
There's a code in the notes. Um, yeah, so it's the first time I thought about it in years, and I think that like has just kind of been shaking me up. Like first time I look in the
Yeah.
mirror, not that I've never like, not that I've always just loved what I see, but I
Hmm.
think I've been able to like bounce back from thoughts quicker as of the last few years, and just like haven't been able to since Coco, and like it's affecting my like thoughts, and it's
Hmm.
affecting, honestly, just this last week it started to like affect me and Michael, where it's
Hmm.
like he can only take so much of me just like hating on myself, and
Yeah.
it's like little comments, not like all day every day I'm just like, I hate everything, because like
Hmm.
genuinely I love my life, and like I know I'm whatever, like it's just like all internal, and he doesn't see it at all, but like we went jean shopping a month ago, and I was so upset because the whole reason we had to go jean shopping is because not one
Hmm.
of my jeans fit me after Coco.
Yeah.
And, we're 8 months in now. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, that didn't happen last time. So,
Yeah.
anyways, like little things throughout the day where I'll just like, or throughout the weeks where I'll like make a comment. And last weekend, he was just like, honestly, like, I don't know how to handle those comments,
Yeah.
which pissed me off because I was PMSing.
Hmm.
But also when I like took a step back to think about it, it's like how does someone continually handle like, so he loves me. He doesn't see those things in me. And I'm just ripping myself apart. Like it would be the same way if like Coco, when she grows up, she's like ripping her body apart when I just love her so much. So
Right.
anyways, feels good to say it out loud, but I'm just like, not great. I'm not bad though. Like I don't
Yeah.
it doesn't like consume me every day, which is good, and old me would have been consumed by
Yeah.
it, but like I don't have time to be consumed right now. So it's just like random times throughout the week where I'm just like, meh.
Yeah.
But I'm also like not willing to change. So
Yeah.
that's like kind of, it's like I know better. Like I know what it takes to, if I want to get it to a smaller size, like I know what to do. But the thought of doing that is so overwhelming to me because of like how far it's gone in the past that
Yeah.
like I'm not even thinking about the first step. So maybe it's just like thinking about it in a healthier way to where like it doesn't have to snowball into like some huge disordered eating thing, and it could just be like me trying to live healthier. I don't know. I don't know what the
Yeah.
verbiage is or what the thought process is, but
Well, I'm really proud of you for sharing and putting voice to it. And I think that's so powerful in just having the awareness of like, that's what is going on. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing, we've all been there. And like, I'm so proud of you for sharing. And you also only have, like, I'm trying to think of how to say this. Like, I feel like we can only base our life off of previous experiences. So you had William and like this was your experience postpartum. Like you're going through a completely like different postpartum experience. Like I can only imagine how overwhelming that is. And I, for one, am so proud of you for like, I feel like I've noticed at this beginning of the year, you like commit to what you can do. Like, you're up in the classes at 6 a.m. and like you're in bar every week to not just, for the feeling I get from you is not just for physical, but like to be with people to
Yeah.
for your mental health, for your spiritual health, and that is so inspiring. I'm like, okay, like you're doing what you can, and like you're not just letting it fall to the back yourself fall to the back
Yeah.
burner.
Yeah, I think that's been a good part of, building those habits and disciplines and just like realizing how much fitness is so much more than just a tool to change your physique. It's like the community and
Hmm.
and mental healing and like everything in between. But it's good to like have those principles to stand on because old me would
Hmm.
have like woken up at 5 a. If I was feeling this
Hmm.
way, I would have woken up at 5 a.m., strapped the kid in a stroller, and like gone for a 6 to 10 mile run.
Yep.
But like new me is realizing like I'm gonna be burned out. I don't have time for that. I have two kids now. I really need to help Michael like in the mornings, and so it's like, what can I do?
Yep.
And if is that enough? And it is enough.
Yep.
I think I was just, and this, like you were the same way. I was just so used to like overachieving. I'm just like, oh,
Yes.
like I just ran 6 miles. That's fine. I'll go walk the loop with you in an hour. Like that kind of like mentality was just like so like normal. And it's like I don't have the time. And
No.
two, like I physically don't have the capacity if I want to like be there for my children. So
No, I think that's like so healing and such a testament to healing in itself is to
yeah.
have that awareness. And oh, I think about all the time, like us training for the marathon. Like with what time did we train for a marathon?
And I had a child.
You
Like
had a child,
but just
and
one. And now I'm thinking like one wasn't so bad, like one was kind of,
I'm like, what were we thinking?
I don't
Like,
know,
what?
dude, but we did it. And it's like also accepting and embracing that, like, that's not the season of life I'm in anymore. Like, even I think I talked to you about it. I wanted to train for the marathon that's like in 2 weeks here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we go on vacation, and it's not like when we go on vacation, I'm on vacation. Like, I gotta keep my kids alive and,
Mm-hmm.
we're sleeping in the same room. So I don't want to wake up and run in a snowy environment. And then we get back and there's a snowstorm and kids are sick and there's the flu. And it's like, Michael was like, oh, why didn't you train for your race? And I was like, really?
Are you
Like,
like, are we in the
when?
same life?
When would you train? And he's like, well, you kind of already have a base, so you just need to do like a long run every other weekend or something. And I'm like, that's just not how I do things. Like,
Mm-mm.
I don't want to like just show up on race day like unprepared. So I just didn't even sign up for the race. And like I was really beating myself up about it, but now I'm just like I have to really embrace that this is just not my season for races.
No.
And maybe in 10 years when my kids are like in school and are playing with friends and like can put their own freaking pants on, I will be able to train for races. But right now it's just never going to happen.
No.
And I know there's some moms listening to me right now that are like, I have two kids and I'm trying to race. I'm not you. Okay.
It's like good.
You're
You know
you,
what?
I'm
Good for
me.
you.
Good
Good
for
for
freaking
you.
you. Jealous. By the way, don't tell me in the comments because I will spin in my head
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
negativity. So
Listeners, read the room.
don't be tone deaf. Okay. Okay.
We don't want to hear it.
We don't hear it. Oh my gosh. I went over my time. But that's us.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
No, it did feel good to say that out loud. And I think that it's like that's why one words are so cool is because it's really just one thing you need to like circle back
Mhm.
to when you're out of whack. And
Yeah.
it is like a good like central
I know.
reset.
And we're out of whack at least once a day.
Oh, at least
At
once an
least
hour.
at the like if I'm lucky.
If I am in whack, I'm shook. I'm shook. Oh man. Well, Sarah, thanks so much for being my friend.
Oh my
I
gosh, I
really,
love you.
I really do.
We, I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, speaking of, I have a surprise for the girlies in the fridge, the pink
Oh,
fridge, and
yay.
then um flowers for them too.
Oh
So
my
I'll tell you
gosh,
those
I'm so
flowers.
excited. I bought backup cookies. I'm gonna try and make some now, but we'll see.
You know, we don't have a cookie. We don't have a cookie.
No.
But that was really it's a sweet thought. And if it is a thought that you end up executing and you do a TikTok about it, just mention at Soul Fitness.
At Full Fitness, at Kathryn Banco.
Got to get those extra followers, you know,
We got to do it.
because I ain't doing it. Um, well, listeners, I love you so much, and I will be back hopefully next week. But you know what is time? Okay.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for listening to Heart and Soul. If this episode encouraged you in any way, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Talk to you next week.